At this time, we'll call to order the Board of County Commissioners meeting for the purpose of agenda review for next week's meeting. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Fast. Aye. Commissioner Myers.
Myers, aye.
Commissioner O'Hara. Here. Commissioner Hanslick.
Hanslick here.
Commissioner Ashcraft.
Here.
Commissioner Allenbrand.
Allenbrand, aye.
And Chairman Eilert.
Here. All are present. We do have a quorum. Would the clerk please read the proposed consent agenda items?
Item number 1, consider approving the reappointment of Joseph Beveridge, 2nd District Representative to the 10th Judicial District Nominating Commission through March 2nd, 2026. Item number 2, consider approving the reappointment of Lisa Husers, 3rd District Representative to the Transportation Council through August 31st, 2024. Item number 3, consider approving the appointment of Dan Foyle, 3rd District Representative to the Southeast Consolidated Zoning Board through December 31st, 2024. And item number 4, consider ratifying the chairman's appointments to the REACH Board of Directors, Joseph Rubin, M.D., June 1st, 2022 through May 31st, 2023, Jim Sanders, M.D., J.D., June 1st, 2022 through May 31st, 2023. Catherine Fierro, June 1st, 2022 through May 31st, 2024. And Justin Ricker, June 1st, 2022 through May 31st, 2025.
All right, are there any questions in regards to the proposed consent agenda? If not, moving to the action agenda. Item number 5.
Consider approving the February 10th, 2022 business session minutes. Commissioner Myers was absent.
That will remain on action. Number 6.
Item number 6, consider executing a master utility agreement with the Kansas Department of Transportation, providing designation of responsibility for reimbursement of sanitary sewer relocation costs related to the US 69 Modernization and Expansion Project.
Susan.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Actually, good afternoon. I beg your pardon. This request is for an entry into a master utilities agreement with KDOT. So the Kansas Department of Transportation is getting ready to undertake an improvements project on 69 Highway. Extends roughly from 103rd Street to 151st Street, and then they'll also be doing an exchange at 167th. So you can see the improvement area here in this sort of gray hatched area along 69 Highway. They're planning to use the design build process in order to undertake this project, and they're in the process of selecting a design builder. The design builder is expected to, or the design build process, I should say, is expected to reduce the overall project time and provide innovative solutions so they can conduct the project. There are some sanitary sewer, Johnson County wastewater sanitary sewer crossings in the vicinity of the project that we expect will either need to be relocated or perhaps some adjustments done to those depending on what the design builder determines as their approach to the project. The Master Utilities Agreement provides a procedure that Johnson County Wastewater and KDOT will follow throughout the project as it relates to the JCW sanitary sewer work. Johnson County Wastewater anticipates that the design builder that's selected will do that relocation or modification work. The Master Utilities Agreement also sets out how payment will be conducted, what those procedures are. And this is a similar process that they used in the Gateway project as well, the Gateway Orange project, which was over here at 435, I-35, and K-10. But it's, as has been done in the past, any payment for work that's within a dedicated easement will be paid by KDOT. Any work that is within KDOT's right-of-way will be paid by Johnson County Wastewater. The MUA sets forth that Johnson County Wastewater will pay 75% of the cost at the time the design's complete, and there will be a supplemental agreement that covers that estimated cost And then we will pay the remainder of the cost once that work is complete and we have accepted the work. Again, that's a similar process to what we used for the Gateway Orange project. Make sure I've covered everything here. So once the design builder has been selected and we better understand what the cost estimates will be, we'll return to the board for funding. At that time, we'll also be requesting that I be given authority to execute those supplemental agreements. Once they get started on the project, they start to move relatively quickly, and so we'll be able to execute those supplemental agreements along with their schedule. Right now, based on what we know, we're estimating the cost to be approximately $1.5 million for the sanitary sewer work. We did include this in our capital plan that was presented to the board most recently in May of last year. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Ms. McCarrick, is this process the difference between rights-of-way and easements consistent with what we've done with KDOT before? Or is
It
this?
is. Yes, sir, it is. It's consistent with what we've done with KDOT, as well as we have agreements with many of the cities throughout the county, and that's
Same,
similar, yeah.
Same process?
Yes.
Okay. Other questions? Mr. Ashcraft?
Nothing, Mr. Chairman. It looks like it's in good order, and I would not object to it being on consent.
Okay. Other questions? Ms. O'Hara?
You caught me with my mouth full of apple. So this is not going to be any cost to the county?
There will be a cost to
No,
the
will
county.
be.
Yes, for the items, or for the work that is done within KDOT right-of-way, then Johnson County wastewater
What, do we have
ratepayers
any
will pay for it,
estimates?
not the county general fund. For
Okay, so are there estimates as to what this is going to cost us?
Yes, so our preliminary, based on the preliminary information we have, we're estimating it's about $1.5 million, but we'll know more once the design builder gets on board and they start to work toward design.
I would prefer this to stay on action, if that's okay. Thank
I'm
you.
sorry, what?
Action.
Action? Okay, so noted. All right, next item.
Item number 7, resolution number WD 22-009. Conduct a public hearing and consider approving an enlargement to the Consolidated Main Sewer District for a tract of land at the southwest corner of 159th Street and Clare Road, known as the New Century Commerce Center Phase 1.
Ms. McCarrick?
Thank you. Susan Picaric with wastewater again. So this is a request for an enlargement to the Consolidated Main Sewer District. This is the area out at New Century Air Center, known as the New Century Commerce Center Phase 1. The property is owned by the Board of County Commissioners, and a petition, 100% petition for this area to be enlarged into the district was signed on January 27th. This area, or these properties, I should say, are located within 3 miles of the cities of Gardner, Olathe, and Spring Hill, while they're located in the unincorporated area. And the Kansas Statute 19-270 provides that we shall hold a public hearing to receive any comment from those cities regarding the enlargement. KSA 19-270 also requires a majority, 3/4 majority, in order to approve the enlargement. The sanitary sewer mains for this area were included with the infrastructure funding as part of the New Century Commerce Center Development Plan, which the board reviewed and approved today. And with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions. There's no funding associated with this request. This is for the enlargement only.
Questions? All right, well, this does require a public hearing, so we'll remain on action. Item number 8.
Resolution number WD 22-006. Conduct a public hearing and consider authorizing funds for the Blue River Main Wastewater Treatment Facility Phase 2 Improvements Project BRM 1-C013 Study Phase Services in an amount not to exceed $802,100.
Ms. McCarrick?
Thank you, Chairman. Susan Pekarik with wastewater again. The Blue River Main Wastewater Treatment Facility is located near the intersection of 151st Street and Kenneth Road in Overland Park. We have a map on the screen to show you the general location of the facility. It's, the facilities outlined there in yellow. We expanded this treatment facility in 2007. The Blue River watershed is a growth area. Here's the service area that you see for the Blue River watershed, or for the Blue River Main Treatment Facility. We expanded the treatment facility, as I said, back in 2007 to a design capacity of 10.5 million gallons per day. The peak hydraulic expansion, so essentially for peak flows, of portions of the facility were deferred because they were not needed at that time. This is will be for a study in order to focus on those areas of the plant where we need to improve the hydraulic capacity of these areas that were not expanded back in 2007. Those generally include the influent pump station, the headworks facilities, and the disinfection facilities. In addition, the study will make recommendations for future expansion needs. This facility, as I said, was expanded to just 10.5 MGD. There will be future expansion required as that watershed continues to build out. In addition, the study will make recommendations for renewal and replacement of some of the systems. Some of the systems were not replaced at the time of the 2007 expansion, so they date back to the mid to late 90s, which would have been the previous construction of that facility. Black & Veatch engineers will be performing this work. We do anticipate this work will be a design bid build process, and so therefore we'll be returning to the board for design funding, and once the design and bid is completed, we would return for construction funding. This project was included in our capital plan that was presented to the board most recently last May. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Ms. O'Hara?
Thank you. So this wastewater plant is very close to my neighborhood, and I walk over in that area. I will tell you that that the wastewater plant there is a very good neighbor. We have not had any issues that I have heard about or have noticed. So you have given us estimate as to what the increase in wastewater rates are going to be through 2030, and the cumulative from 2022 through 2030 is approximately 45%. Is this expansion, is this included in that estimate?
Yeah, correct. So we projected what this current expansion is included. Mhm.
Mr. Ashcraft?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Pekarik, before next week, I have a few process questions if we could visit.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. Well, again, this requires a public hearing, will remain on action. Next item.
Item number 9, resolution number 011-22. Consider adopting resolution number 011-22 to amend the FY 2022 to 2026 CIP to include a capital project in an amount not to exceed $740,000, authorizing the chairman to execute the proposed real estate purchase contract in connection with the contemplated purchase of 19065 South Lackman Road, Olathe, Kansas, 66062, for future Johnson County use in an amount not to exceed $540,000, and authorize the reallocation and expenditures of general fund reserves in the amount of $740,000 for this project.
Mr. Waters?
Yes, I'm pinch hitting for Maury Thompson, Joe Waters, Assistant County Manager.
Home run hitting.
There we go. Well, yeah, pinch hit. We'll see about the home run part. Commissioners, this is there's two pieces to this request. The first is to amend the CIP because this request does exceed $100,000. It's capital related, and the other is the approval of the purchase of this property at 19065 South Lackman Road, currently owned by Fire District Number 2. The purchase price is $540,000 for the property. There are a number of improvements that we know will be needed to just get it to a place where it can best be managed remotely, for instance, watertight, all those kinds of things. So that equates to an additional $200,000 for the balance of the $740,000 request. As I said, this is a property owned by, a facility owned by Fire District Number 2, so you will be back in front of this board, sitting as the Board of Fire District Number 2, to accept the offer ultimately. This is a property that is no longer needed as a result of the partnership, the contract for services with the City of Olathe and Fire District Number 1. It is 2.83 acres, 4,400 square foot building. It is in a strategic location. The immediate uses will be light. Public Works will be able to put it to some use, as well as the Sheriff's Office. Long-term, we foresee, as that area continues to develop, that it will be an ideal site for a MedAct station, and hopefully to be able to support those other two department and office as well. The plan does include some time for, or allows for a due diligence period, so we can get in and do a more thorough investigation. And to make sure that there's no adjustments in cost or any changes in direction, standard due diligence approach. Let's see. There are, yes, and we do have some contingencies associated with the contract for that purpose. And I'd stand for any questions.
Mr. Waters, I understand this is the existing fire station on Lackman, is that right?
Yes, it is, number 83.
Okay, and so there may be some opportunities for the sheriff to use it, as well as Public Works.
Right.
And then in the future, additional MedAct and maybe fire services again. Is that right?
Yes, that's what Maury tells me.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Other questions, Ms. O'Hara?
What did you say, it's 2.8 acres?
2.83 acres,
Okay, so is this a large enough footprint for our future needs?
yes,
Okay.
it is. Thank you.
Mr. Ashcraft?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Waters, could you remind us how the price was determined?
I believe there were, let's see, Chief, are you aware? No, he might be on the other side of that. I can get that for you. I believe there were several
Before next meeting, if you would.
appraisals done, but I will confirm that.
Okay. Commissioner Fast?
Yeah, so you said 2.8 acres, so, I mean, that would require, like, if the sheriff wanted his training center there, I mean, how many buildings? That's not very large, 2.8.
Yeah, I
It'd
don't
be
think-
just reconstructing that current building or adding buildings?
I think the sheriff's potential use, particularly here on a, like right away, is for patrol. It's a stop for his patrol folks.
I
where
did,
They can
I'm
have a
sorry
place
if
to
I
land.
indicated, I don't think there's any idea to put a training facility here.
No, it would not be big enough for
Yeah.
that. No,
So
nowhere near.
is the thought in the future would be to renovate that, add on?
It will depend upon the condition. It is serving as a fire station today, so it has many of those attributes that would work well, we know would work well for MedAct vehicles. They'll fit through, that sort of thing. The MedAct is the most likely use ultimately, and we think it's well suited, but might take some renovation by the time that comes about.
Okay. Other questions? Okay, well, this will remain on action. It is a land transaction. Are there any other items?
No, sir.
All right, that concludes our agenda review. We are adjourned. Our committee of the whole will begin at 2 p.m. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.